This is SIGHT, an interactive event here at the Science Museum's Dana Centre. SIGHT is the second event in our 5 Senses series and is funded by the Royal Academy of Engineering. We will be exploring the latest technologies being engineered for the visually impaired. Jim Kahn is RNIB's Senior Management Consultant. We asked for his thoughts on the engineering featured in the event and its potential use for the visually impaired and blind.
I think there's various different things you can pick up, but the main thing is it's deliverable. And in terms of deliverable, I mean, it's going to make real impacts and it's going to change people's lives. And for us at the RNIB, that's what's important.
We ran 3 workshops looking at the latest technologies engineered to assist the visually impaired. Patrick Degenar explores how virtual reality can help the visually impaired.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to feed back an enhanced image of the visual scene. When we look at a particular scene, let's say a tree in a forest, what we really need to understand is that, one particular object is a tree and another particular object is a leaf. We don't really need to know every single texture or every single detail, in that forest. If we're walking down the street, we need to know that we're about to bump into a person. We need to know, if we're talking to a person, whether they're smiling. We don't need to know the exact texture of, the shirt, or whether it's silk or whether it's cotton. So again, if you can take the visual scene, if you can enhance that scene and feed it back to people with a relatively poor vision, you can then basically enhance their ability to interpret the world around them. I also showed a headset, a virtual reality headset for people to touch and feel what it's like at the present time.
Brian Hoyle explains the UltraCane in his workshop.
Well, the UltraCane was a sort of challenge to try to get some modern 21st century technology to help visually impaired people to have a bit more mobility than they have now. Particularly inspired by the fact that if we can use a mobile phone to talk to somebody around the planet, surely we can use some of that technology to help visually impaired people to gain a little bit more personal freedom. And it's been tremendously rewarding coming to the Dana Centre, and it's been fantastic talking to people about how the UltraCane is a project and how the appliance of some scientific and engineering principles can be made to produce a product that gives sight to visually impaired people.
Keith Mathiasen discusses the latest developments in microchip implants for the eyes.
So there's been a lot of research recently in trying to use microelectronics. There's been a big advancement in microelectronics, and I think the prospects now are looking a lot better than they were in the past. And there are several companies now looking to commercialise these devices, but it's still very difficult to put a timeline on when a device will become available because it is research and there are unanswered questions.
Helen Petrie and Dawn Cliff produced tactile maps and guides for the blind. They demonstrated their work.
Tactile maps are maps that you can feel with your fingertips as well as use with your eyes. They're for visually impaired people to use a whole range of visual impairments. We've had quite a lot of positive feedback tonight. I think we've had quite a few interested people who didn't know what we were doing before, and I found it quite interesting.
Yeah, we've found people who've said they didn't realise these existed in the UK and how can they get hold of them, so I think we've had a very positive reaction.